Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Misshelved. I'm your host, Nicole Brinkley, and I am so excited for today's episode. For those of you who are new to the podcast, welcome. Every 2 weeks, I introduce you to an independent bookseller in conversation with an author they love. This week's independent bookseller is Cristina Russell.
Hi, I'm Cristina Russell. I am a book buyer and event coordinator, etc. for Books and Books in Miami, Florida.
Cristina gives the best book recommendations. I have been following her on Instagram forever, so if she says to read something, you know you ought to. She is in conversation today with author Nina Moreno.
Hi, I'm Nina Moreno. I'm the author of Don't Date Rosa Santos and the upcoming Our Way Back to Always.
Settle in as these two talk about everything romance, their favorite tropes, their favorite books, and of course, their favorite podcast, Fated Mates.
I haven't seen you since Book Fair 2019, which was like,
Yeah.
I barely saw you.
I know. I was just thinking about that. I was like, when was the last time I saw Cristina? Oh my God, 2019. That feels like a decade ago right now.
It really does. It's been like a full year now
Oh.
of the pandemic times.
Yeah, pandemic times, that's a different way to measure time. I don't know.
It definitely is. How has being an author in this past year been?
I mean, it's a lot of adjustment, I think. It's a lot of just sort of recalibrating and getting used to things like this, getting used to podcasts, getting used to doing everything virtually. And like I bought a microphone and I have to have headphones and just sort of always being prepared to be online.
Yeah, pretty much the same here. We, like, as a bookstore, having to pivot last year to virtual events. I never thought we'd still be doing them now like everyone else. It's been weird. Yeah, it's been so interesting to have so much anxiety about my Wi-Fi connection, like every day with virtual events.
Pandemic times, upside down. We don't know where we are, when we are, what's happening. I mean, I will say that I had so many author friends who debuted and like their first book came out and like all of their travel plans, all of their book tour plans, like all of those things that they had been prepared for like went away in a moment's notice. And I can imagine that because I didn't have a book that came out in 2020. My debut came out in 2019. My next one's coming out, this year. So I did have that sort of break of not having to like market a book in a pandemic, but it was a lot of like every book festival, every sort of panel sort of switching to virtual. So having to get used to doing things like this, getting used to having a mic and what's your Wi-Fi like, and get ready to talk online and be on your computer and while your kids are doing virtual learning and you don't have enough Wi-Fi or bandwidth for this, and isn't this fun?
Yeah.
So, it's a good time.
We're all doing like the same run around. Is there anything you've been reading this past year that's maybe been helpful?
Yes, I'm constantly, always reading romance because that's the only thing I think that is able to like turn my brain off. Because not only can I be assured that I know I'm going to get the happily ever after, whatever it is, but I can sort of like lose myself in it. I write YA. I love reading YA. But I guess sometimes you have to like leave your own neighborhood to sort of shut your brain off. So because I don't write romance, that's like the one sort of genre that I can not think about being a writer, not think about all the sort of facets of being a writer and, oh my God, who's the editor for this? And is this my friend? And did I blurb this? Like, I don't know. I'm just so neck deep in YA that romance gives me such a, I can just like lose myself to it. So romance all day, every day.
I love reading YA, first of all. That's kind of like why I have this job, was my passion for YA in general. And I'm still reading YA, but I also love like science fiction and fantasy. And it's just been really hard to sort of like, I don't know, fantasy goes to dark places a lot of the times. I just don't want that.
There's such a comfort in genre fiction, but especially like in romance for the fact that it promises that you're going to get there. I can throw myself away to these characters and they're going to take my breath away and it's going to be romantic and yada, yada, yada. It's going to be great. But I know at the end of the day, they're going to be okay. And I think in a year like 2020, there's so much comfort in knowing, okay, I'm going to give myself to this book. And at the end of the day, they're going to be okay. And maybe I will be too. Like I don't know, there's such, I can like lose myself in this book because of the promise of that happily ever after that a romance gives you.
Yeah, I can literally like cry reading a romance. Like it can break my heart, but it's fine because I know like
at the end
it's all worth it. Yeah.
They got you.
Yeah, like there's no cliffhanger. Like you're getting it's gonna be wrapped up nicely. Hopefully like a little epilogue, maybe.
Give us the extra seasoning. Give me that extra happily ever after. Yeah.
Is there like a subgenre of romance that you were drawn to this past year, like historical, paranormal, contemporary?
I actually fell back into sort of, I guess, urban fantasy. I love Ilona Andrews, her series that she does, the Hidden Legacy, and then she also did the Kate Daniels series. And those are two of my favorite. The Kate Daniels series is like 10 books, I think. I just recently reread the Hidden Legacy series, which is like 3, and then she's like expanding with one of the sisters or something. But I love books like that where they're sort of incorporating magic in the city, and it's not necessarily high fantasy or anything, but I love when you can kind of like get lost in a family structure of a novel, kind of like the Bridgertons. I do love historical, but it takes me a minute to be able to like dedicate myself to historical, I think. And I don't know. I struggled with the Bridgerton books a little bit, but I do love the series on Netflix.
I do too. I've actually never read Ilona Andrews, and like all of a sudden it's all I'm seeing on Instagram or Bookstagram. Never. And I know it very much sounds like my thing, but I just haven't yet.
It's such a weirdly comfort series for me. I don't know what it is, but like I just reread The Hidden Legacy, but I was like, I can't do Kate Daniels. Nina, you have so many things to read right now. I'm like, I'm going to reread the Kate Daniels series.
Are they? Well, I know Kate Daniels isn't, but like Hidden Legacies, are they like self-contained romances, or it's like a trilogy about the same couple?
Well, it is a trilogy about the same couple, but like the Kate Daniels series, it's like it takes until like book 4 in the Kate Daniels series. As a romance reader, it takes until like book 4 for them to like kiss and come together and like be officially a couple. It's like 3 books and they're together by book 2. So it is like a faster sort of romance arc, but it's the same sort of like stakes and there's a murder and we're going to run around town and fight things together. And like my favorite romance trope is a battle couple. I love 2 people like fighting the world together and then like having domestic arguments while they're fighting and then kissing at the end. That's like my bread and butter. I think Ilona Andrews is like the perfect. They're so great at that. Okay,
I've not even heard the trope battle couple. Like I realize I've read battle couples, but like I've never thought of it as a trope.
Yes, I love it. That was one of my favorite things too about like watching the Witcher series on Netflix. Did you see that one?
I did.
Okay, I love that they're like by the end like a battle couple, like yes, fight the world together and then argue about stuff afterwards. It's gonna be great.
I know nothing about The Witcher, like the games, like before the show. I'm sorry. You're not the first person. Like people in my family are like, "Are you kidding? Like why'd you even watch it?" But I still loved it. Going in totally blind. Yes. I loved it. So.
I love that people went into it blind and still like loved it and didn't need the games, didn't need the books or whatever. Because I went into the game without having read the books. And usually I'm such a completionist that it's like I have to know everything about everything before I sort of like throw myself into it. But I have played that game a million times. So watching the show was really exciting for me. But I've read like one of the books.
Yeah. And this brings me back around to Bridgertons, which I started reading because the show was coming out. I went on a like several months binge of reading like only almost historical romances. So I was really excited to read The Duke and I didn't love it.
You and I talked about this. So, let's be real. I started it and I couldn't get through it. And I love a lot of historical and I loved the series, but I don't know why I struggled with the book?
I have lots of like romance friends on Bookstagram and Twitter who have told me that's not her best book, and it is an older book. So I want to keep reading the series. I haven't yet because it's hard when you don't like the first book to pick up the second book. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just tough because like I got into reading romance, like the historical romance. The first author I ever read was Sarah MacLean, and
that was your first romance?
Well, actually, the first historical romance I read was Tessa Dare.
Okay.
But the second author I went to was Sarah MacLean. And both of the books I read by them were sort of, even though they're historicals, like really modern and very into consent and, you know, all the stuff like we're looking for nowadays. Anytime I've tried to read like older historicals, very, very tough for me. Get to like suspend my modern sentiments. I don't know.
No, to feel comfortable enough to sort of, I trust you to tell this story and keep me safe while you're telling it. Yeah, my first historicals are probably Lisa Kleypas, and I love her so much. But she does, even for when she was telling it, I feel like she had a more modern point of view. But I feel like reading a historical right now is so much safer than trying to go backwards and read them from the 90s and 80s, like all the classics that people writing them now might sort of say, that was my favorite one. And then you try to go back and read it and you're like, oh no.
This is like Dreaming of You by Lisa Kleypas was one. I read it because of the podcast Fated Mates. Like that is why I read it.
Derek Craven Day.
Yeah. And I did love it. I did love it. But I could even feel in it that it was missing sort of that like modern, the things that I really love about like what Sarah MacLean is writing now. And even like the Ravenels by Lisa Kleypas to me feels
I haven't read the Ravenels yet. I have them, but I'm excited. I'm excited to jump into like modern day Lisa Kleypas. Like I haven't done that yet. Yeah.
It's really good. I'm not up to date. Like I want to try to be, because she has a new book coming out this summer and I would love to just read it, like be ready to be there. Yeah. But I have like a few books in the Ravenels to go, but I really like them. I mean, I haven't read anything though by Lisa Kleypas that I didn't, and I'm a newbie, but I haven't read anything I don't like. I should read Devil in Winter soon because I feel like I need to know if I'm a Derek Craven or a Sebastian St. Girl. I don't know.
I know. It's been years for me. I want to reread it, but it's one of those books that I remember loving so much that I'm a little afraid to, get back to it and be like, oh, Nina, what were you thinking? But I hear enough people talk about it now that I think it'll hold up. Crossed fingers that it's going to hold up.
Do you have a favorite, Derek Craven or Sebastian?
You know what? I'm weak for Derek Craven. It's ridiculous. And it's so good. Like, cause you listen to Fated Mates, you listen to their podcast. So in the way that Sarah MacLean talks about that, how good Lisa Kleypas is at like the characters having like a touchstone, a talisman, a thing that like, and I just always picture like Derek Craven slipping her glasses in his pocket and being like, weak.
Yes.
Weak. It's so good. And there's a reason it's so timeless. The fact that this modern day podcast in 2021 is creating a holiday for this one character. Like, I love romance.
I know.
We're so ridiculous. And I love it.
I love that we are all like championing this guy, this like fictional character who definitely like breastfeeds at the end of that book. Like, this is so like, I mean, yeah. Heck yeah. Like,
no, it does. The way we get to like have these conversations amongst readers and like dig into our favorite tropes, and the way that we're not shaming each other and be like, I like this and I like that. I love the way that romance sort of expands those conversations amongst readers. Like, what do you like? Well, what do you like? I like one bed. Well, I like battle couples. Like, I don't know. It's really fun to be able to dig into things that make us feel good,
And I actually feel like that was a good segue for this little this or that thing that I wrote down for us to like pick between two tropes.
Give it to me.
So yeah, I'm going to name two tropes and you pick yours and we can talk about it or whatever. I don't have battle couples in here, and for that, I am sorry.
But you're going to add it now, right?
Yes,
next time?
Of course.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So the first one is enemies to lovers or friends to lovers.
Okay. I know. Everybody loves enemies to lovers. I love enemies to lovers. It's so exciting. But I am weak, and I've always been weak for friends to lovers. Like, I love, like, one of my favorite, like, romance arcs is the reunion story. I love the sort of coming back together, whether you were childhood lovers or, whatever it was. I love, maybe it's the demisexual in me. I just love when you have all of this history together already and you can, I don't know, expand on that. Like, to me, it's easier to sort of get swept away than it is with somebody I hate.
I get it. Until very recently, I read a book that changed my mind, and I would have told you, like, but that I wouldn't gravitate towards a friends to lovers story, like, ever.
But I love when we all have that one book that changed our minds.
Emily Henry's new book, The People We Meet on Vacation. It's like a best friends to lovers.
Oh my God. Beach Read was like my favorite read last year.
If you love the friends to lovers trope, I honestly, I can't imagine it done better. It was so good. I mean,
okay.
I haven't read enough. I have not read enough friends to lovers to say that, but
okay,
really, 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 really love
writing it down. All right.
That said, I am on this absolutely enemies to lovers, and I'm okay with absolutely hate each other enemies. I
can do it in fantasy where it's this sort of, the stakes are just out of the root, like they're just banana stakes. Like I can do enemies there, like, but yeah, I always come home to friends to lovers. Yeah.
So my next one is friends to lovers or forced proximity.
I am a sucker for forced proximity, and which is hilarious because I hate being too close. Like, I'm thinking 6 feet apart. 6 feet apart. No, yeah. But I am a sucker when somebody tells me that it's like one of those, wintry, we're going to be stuck in a cabin together stories. I love those.
I'm so glad you said that. I mean, like, the thing about forced proximity is, like, it would almost never work in real life, I feel like.
It has to be the highest of stakes. It has to be, we're in, the Antarctic and there's one cabin. We're in the snow. There's a blizzard. Everybody outside is dying. Like, it has to be, I don't know, the highest of stakes. Otherwise, it'd be like, I'm going to call an Uber and I'm going to go home and leave me alone.
Yeah. Well, so you've said it like twice. So I'm going to go to my next one, which is snowed in, or, I mean, these are both like forced proximity. Like, they're like sub tropes within, like snowed in, or there's only one bed.
Snowed in, or there's only one bed. Well, as a fellow Florida girl, I do snowed in. That's like another universe, right? Like, I don't understand what that means. Like, no, I'm always, if somebody says there's only one bed, I'm going to one-click that book. I'm going to buy that book. Show me how you made this happen.
So I feel like I would choose there's only one bed. Like, I'm the same. Like, as soon as I hear the That's a No book, I'm like, okay, I'm reading that. But I'm thinking now about snowed in, and like, for warmth, you have to like remove clothing and get body heat.
We have to prepare. There's, this is like, I guess, our version of like hurricane prep.
Oh my gosh, a hurricane romance. I never want to read one of those.
We don't have enough of these.
I don't know if I could handle. I mean, I guess if it was done really well, like, I don't know. That's like, that hits really close to home.
It's
like,
too close.
I'm like, there's nothing sexy about like 80 degrees and no power.
No. Couple of Florida girls, you're like, yeah, blizzards, sure. Hurricane, no.
We're talking like having to, water in the toilet to flush it. Not sexy. There's just no way that you can make that sexy.
Fill up your tubs. Get ready.
I mean, people are going to hear this who aren't from Florida and be like, how are they talking about hurricanes like this, like so flippantly? But it's kind of like Florida thing. Like, this is like, we deal with, several times a year.
You're lucky we're not talking about a hurricane party right now. Like,
just I promise you we take it seriously, but it's like part of our, I don't know. Okay. So next one is brother's best friend or office romance.
Oh, this is okay. You know what? I don't know. You know what? I am weak. I do love some office romances. I feel like you have to be so careful because I feel like the Christina Lauren's Beautiful Bastard series did this one so well.
The Hating Game. Have you read The Hating Game?
Oh my God, have I read The Hating Game? Yes, I think that one. Okay, yes, I love it when we think about it as two rivals rather than sort of a boss,
It's like you have to be careful about the power dynamics.
Yes.
But also for me, like in The Hating Game, it has to like quickly leave the office environment.
Because at that point, I'm not interested in the office dynamics. I want you to establish the sort of rivalry that you're dealing with, but then I want you to leave because then it can get real uncomfortable real quick. Unless, that's what you enjoy reading. And then, I'm not here to shame you.
These are both basically almost like I wouldn't say take it or leave it. Like I basically read whatever. If someone tells me a romance is good, not necessarily brothers, but family friend, whatever, sister's friend, blah blah blah. That dynamic does work sometimes.
No, I mean we can get into some tropes, but I'm sure we don't want to right now.
I mean, I have more, so
Go for it.
Okay,
go for it.
The next one is Secret Baby or a Secret Billionaire.
I hate Secret Baby. I struggle so much with when they are actively keeping a secret because I feel like I'm just utterly frustrated because I'm waiting for the moment that the secret is revealed. So like I can't relax and I can't enjoy the reading time because I know everything's going to fall apart in this one specific moment when it's revealed.
I hate Secret Baby actually. I mean, it just sounded cute, Secret Baby or Secret Billionaire.
No, I know people love Secret Baby and they love the sort of angst of it. And I love angst, but I just hate tropes that sort of rely on a big secret being revealed because I feel like I'm just tense the entire reading time waiting for the sort of shoe to drop or whatever.
Yeah. Personally, I'm okay with no babies in my romance. Nothing against babies, but they don't add. It sounds horrible, but they really don't add to my love for a romance. I can't think of one time where I was like into that aspect.
Right. Yeah. Like I don't need I feel like it's such a old school way of establishing that the couple is happy, they're fine, they had a baby, it's great. But I don't think we need that anymore in 2021 to establish that they're fine and they're happy. We don't need to see them have a baby to be assured that they're going to be okay.
Yeah. The other one is like Surprise Baby. Also not my favorite. Not really. I see why people like it.
I like it in the way that it might bring like two people together that weren't expecting to be together. So you get to sort of see the dynamics of a couple sort of try to figure it out, watching two strangers who, were initially attracted to each other sort of be like, oh no, we've got to hang out again and forever. So that could be fun. But yeah, it's also a lot of work. And sometimes you just want to escape work.
And Secret Billionaire is like the ultimate escape because they're usually
yeah. I'm gonna solve all your problems, baby. It's gonna be great. Yeah. No, Secret Billionaire is a good time for everybody, right? Like
yeah, absolutely. All problems solved, like very wish fulfillment.
Yeah. You are my lotto ticket. Thank you.
What about Forbidden Love or Fated Mates?
Okay, I am a sucker for Fated Mates. I'm a big sucker for Fated Mates. I love the idea, especially, I think this is where the idea of rivals and enemies to lovers works the most for me when they are like fated to be together in this sort of apocalyptic or whatever it is way. That's where it works for me because it's like, I hate you, but we're fated to be together, and how are we going to figure that out? Like, yeah, I love Fated Mates.
I do too. I really do. It's just sort of fun, like when like they have to figure out how they fit together.
Yeah, and I feel like it makes paranormal and even urban fantasy like feel like this bigger fantasy story. Like it feels like whatever the, you know, the situation is, whatever the setting is, and it feels so much bigger when your sort of couple that you're rooting for are fated to be together and they're fighting and they're sword battling or whatever it is, magic tossing across the town, whatever it is. But if they're fated to be together, you're like, oh my god, this is the best thing I've ever read in my entire life.
Definitely fated mates on that one. Next one is marriage of convenience or fake relationship.
I don't know. What's your favorite?
I don't know, actually.
I
These are
know.
sort of like, oh, marriage of convenience. They're almost similar, you know, like marriage of convenience. I feel like that's usually like in historicals.
That works in historical.
then,
Yeah.
Like the
fake
fake
dating.
relationships.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I've definitely read that in historicals too, but it's a little more common in a contemporary.
I think that's why I fell in love with Bridgerton so much. Like the way they were able to take fake dating into marriage of convenience on the show, at least. Like I don't know. I wasn't able to finish the book.
Yeah, I think I would say I prefer fake relationship.
Yeah,
because it's like the whole like we're kissing just for show. I don't know. I guess, but both of those things happen because that happens in marriage of convenience too.
But I feel like fake dating always like requires a really like settings sort of moment. Like there's a wedding, there's like a reason why they're fake dating. I feel like marriage of convenience could be as, you know, oh, to get my inheritance I have to marry you or whatever. But fake dating is always like, I don't know, on the spot of we need to prove ourselves in this one instantaneous moment of hanging out, you know. I don't know. While marriage of convenience could be like weeks, months, whatever to prove so that I get my dead dad's money or whatever it is.
And both of these lead commonly to like the idiots to lovers. Like they're like completely in love with each other, but like just totally dumb to like what's happening on both sides. And I love that. Like that's so fun to read, especially like in a dual POV where they're both just total idiots. I love it.
Yes, that's my favorite. My favorite is a dual POV in those moments because I want to see both of you fall apart.
Yes. And then this is my last one. It's royals romance or small town romance.
I have yet to, I mean, aside from Alyssa Cole, like I have yet to really like enjoy a royal romance. I guess, I don't know. It feels like a historical trying to like be modern or whatever. And I feel like Alyssa Cole is so good at this, but like I'm always gonna, I don't know. I'm a sucker for the small town romance. I love the quirky, you know, set of characters. I love sort of returning to it over and over with the next couple and the next couple and the next couple, you know, whatever it is. So yeah, I feel like small town romance, I don't know. I'm weak for that one.
Especially as the creator of
right.
a small town with a romance.
I know. I just, yeah, I'm baby.
I love a royals romance. But I don't read as many of them probably as like small town romance, but I don't know if that's because there are less of them. I'm not sure, but
I mean,
I do.
Would you consider I mean, I guess I don't read a lot. Is a historical with a duke considered a royal romance? I guess not.
I don't think so. I mean, to me at this point, dukes in historical romance are just like rich boy. Yeah, I'm fine with it. I love it. Not complaining, but you know, every now and then I feel like a duke in a historical romance, the author does something that really like makes them feel royal, but that's like, it's pretty rare. Most of the time I feel like they're just like, they're rich. They have really big houses, maybe more than one, a lot of houses. Like, and they can do whatever they want. And you know, like
he's a rich guy with a lot of responsibilities, but not a prince.
I love Red, White, and Royal Blue.
Yes.
Love.
That one,
and I definitely love Alyssa Cole's royals too. It's a YA and it's got romance. Tokyo Ever After by Emiko Jean. It's really I think you would love it, honestly. Okay. It's like Meg Cabot, but she's the Princess of Japan. She finds out she's the Princess of Japan. It's so cute. It's so good, and it's a bodyguard romance. So it's got that's a trope that I love, which I didn't include in my this or that, but good.
No, that's one of my favorites. Bodyguard.
Yes. How did I not think of that? Battle couple versus bodyguard, which I would have chosen bodyguard and you would have chosen?
I would have chosen battle couple. I'm a sucker for a domestic sort of two people who have to go home at the end of the day and like deal with each other and then also go save the world. Like I'm a sucker for back-to-back battling against the world.
I need to read more of those. Because like all I can think of is the only ones coming to mind are like Cressley Cole, which depends on the book.
It definitely depends. Which number are you on?
I am like very newbie. I am only getting to book 4. I mean, I've been reading these for like so long. I'm basically just drawing it out.
The Immortal After Dark series. Christina, I read, when the Fated Mates podcast started and they started talking about the Immortal After Dark series, and I was somebody who had read a lot of paranormal romance. Like that was my sort of bread and butter in the early, mid 2000s or whatever. So I flew through that series when they started the podcast. So I was reading it as they were releasing episodes. Like that was sort of, because 2019, I think that's when they did it. And that's also when my book was coming out. So it was like my way to like turn off my brain and like not think about anything. I'm like, I'm going to read these books and not think about anything. And I also like watched Game of Thrones in 1 month. Like it was ridiculous. But oh my God, that series, I think there's
What was your favorite? Which one was your favorite?
Okay, I tried to look back because you had mentioned to me that you were reading them right now. So you're on like number 4, right? And that's like,
I think it's Dark Deeds. I mean, the title's like,
the titles are, we will never, ever, ever remember the titles. It's like Dark Deeds at Midnight's Edge. Like there's no way we'll ever remember them. But the one that I loved was the one with Bowen, the werewolf. And
Mariana.
How do you say her name? I didn't listen to audio, so I read her name and it was like Mariqueta, but I know that's not how we're supposed to say it. I love that one because I'm a sucker for werewolves and witches. Are you kidding me? Like I love that one because you know what? Now I'm thinking about it. They were enemies to lovers. So I'm a liar.
They were. They're definitely. I read the first one, the first IAD book. And I guess we should say we're talking about the Immortals After Dark series by Cressley Cole and the podcast called Fated Mates, which is run by Sarah McLean and Jen Reed's Romance. And they started a podcast and basically talked about just Immortal After Dark for like the first season. So when I had read the first book before the podcast came out, and I was like, okay, I don't know. And it's still my least favorite that I read that first one. But listening to them talk about it and dissect it, and my favorite so far, again, I'm very baby, so this will probably change, is the second one with, oh my gosh,
Sebastian,
Valkyrie, and Sebastian. Sebastian's the hero.
Oh my God. Christina, that was my least favorite.
What?
I know.
What?
I know. And he was like, I know. And I love a beta hero, but I don't know why they didn't work for me. I know.
Okay. I have a lot to read, so I'm not gonna, you know what? Maybe there's better, but so far I love him more than Bowen. He's just like so sweet.
I know. And look I came in here talking about friends to lovers, and now I'm arguing about enemies to lovers. Like the path we've been on, this has been a journey.
It really has. And I think we are running out of time, and I had more to say. Which we knew was going to happen.
We knew it.
Nina, do you want to tell us maybe really quickly about your new book and where we can find you on the internet?
My next book is Our Way Back to Always. It's out this October 12th, 2021. It's a friends to lovers romance. YA story between two best friends who rediscover a bucket list that they wrote when they were in middle school, and it's their senior year of high school, and they decide that they're going to finish it together despite the fact that they haven't spoken in 5 years. And you can find me at Nina_writes on Twitter.com, and you can also find me at Nina Moreno on Instagram, and ninamoreno.com, on your internet.
And it's also kind of a small town romance because it takes place in Port Coral, where Don't Date Rosa Santos took place. And if you haven't read that, read it.
I'm continuing the Nina Moreno universe, I guess.
Yes, it's like Animal Crossing,
right?
But Florida and like Cuban and Colombian. I don't know. It's good. Just go read it.
If you like cute little seaside towns, I guess.
Yeah. All of the fruit is just like coconut and mango, so no peaches, guys. I am Cristina Russell. I think you guys know that. And you can find me on Twitter or Instagram at Peach Reads, PECH Reads. And also you can find my bookstore the bookstore I work for, at Books and Books, everywhere, Twitter, Facebook, whatever, Instagram. Thank you guys for listening. Thanks for talking to me, Nina.
Always.
And we close the chapter on another episode. If you liked it, and we hope you do, don't forget to subscribe and follow us wherever you get your podcasts. Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts, we're on them all. If you really like what we do, you can support us by following on Instagram and Twitter at MisshelvedPod. Early access to episodes, as well as lots of other cool perks, are available over at my Patreon. That's patreon.com/NEBrinkley. We'll be back with another episode for you in 2 weeks. Until then, happy reading!